The Trump administration's decision to deploy the National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee, as part of a new Memphis Safe Task Force, represents a significant shift in federal crime-fighting strategy. This move, which comes despite Memphis police reporting a recent decrease in crime, is part of a broader push to use federal power and military forces to address crime in cities, particularly those with Democratic leadership. While the administration frames it as a necessary measure for public safety, the deployment has ignited a contentious debate over constitutional authority, the role of the military in domestic affairs, and effective solutions to urban violence. The deployment to Memphis is not a singular event, but part of a pattern that includes similar federal interventions in other major cities, such as Los Angeles and Washington, D.C. The administration's justification is rooted in the belief that local authorities have failed to control crime rates and that a strong, visible federal presence is required. The Memphis Safe Task Force will not only involve the National Guard, but also a surge of federal law enforcement agents from agencies like the FBI, ATF, and DEA. This strategy is a departure from the traditional model of federal-local law enforcement cooperation, which is typically based on a request from city or state officials. While Tennessee's Republican Governor Bill Lee has supported the deployment, the mayor of Memphis, Paul Young, has stated he did not ask for it and expressed concern that military troops are not the appropriate solution for the city's crime issues. This divergence highlights a key legal and political question. To what extent can a president deploy federal forces to a state without the full consent of its local government? The administration's claims about a rampant crime problem in Memphis are also a point of contention. While the city has historically struggled with high crime rates, recent data from the Memphis Police Department indicates that overall crime, and specific categories like murder, have been on the decline. Critics argue that the deployment is a political move designed to reinforce a tough-on-crime image and create a narrative of urban chaos that is at odds with current data. Reasons and consequences. The primary reason for the deployment appears to be a political strategy aimed at showcasing the administration's commitment to public safety and its willingness to take decisive action. By framing urban crime as a national security issue, the administration can justify the use of federal and military resources. This narrative resonates with a base that is concerned about law and order, and may be wary of cities run by opposition parties. The consequences of this military-centric approach are significant and multifaceted. Erosion of trust. Deploying military forces to a city can create an atmosphere of fear and distrust between residents and law enforcement. For a city with a history of racial tension and police-community relations issues, like Memphis, the presence of armed troops can evoke painful memories and deepen existing divides. Constitutional questions. The deployment raises serious legal questions about the separation of powers and federalism. The Posse Comitatus Act generally prohibits the use of the military for domestic law enforcement, though the National Guard operates under different rules depending on whether it's federalized. The lack of consent from local leadership further complicates the matter and could lead to legal challenges. Ineffectiveness. Many law enforcement experts and criminologists argue that a military presence is not an effective long-term solution to crime. Urban violence is often rooted in complex socioeconomic issues, such as poverty, lack of opportunity, and mental health crises. Military troops are not trained for community policing, conflict resolution, or addressing these root causes. Their presence may lead to short-term reductions in crime by force, but without addressing underlying issues, crime is likely to return once the troops leave. Predictions and solutions. The legal and political battles over this deployment are likely to continue. It's probable that the administration will face legal challenges in court from local officials, similar to those that have occurred in other cities. The outcome of these challenges could set new precedents for presidential authority in domestic affairs. We can also predict that this strategy will be replicated in other cities where the administration perceives political advantage, regardless of the local crime statistics or the wishes of the local government. However, there are proven solutions to urban crime that do not involve military force. Community-based violence interruption. Programs that use violence interrupters to mediate conflicts before they escalate into violence have shown significant success. These individuals, often from the communities they serve, work to build trust and address the personal disputes that are a major driver of gun violence. Targeted social investment. Addressing the root causes of crime requires investment in education, job training, mental health services, and housing. By providing young people with viable alternatives to crime and supporting individuals struggling with addiction or mental illness, cities can reduce the need for law enforcement intervention. Precision policing. Instead of a broad military presence, law enforcement agencies can use data-driven strategies to focus resources on specific individuals and locations that are at the highest risk for violence. This allows for a more targeted and effective approach that avoids alienating entire communities. Ultimately, the Memphis deployment is a stark reminder of the tension between a top-down, military-style approach to crime and a community-based, holistic strategy. The long-term success of Memphis and other cities will depend not on a temporary show of force, but on a sustained commitment to addressing the complex social and economic factors that fuel violence.